Hey YouTube, Repo Man, excuse me, 64. I think I found something, and I want to show it to you. And it's really cool. It lines up with Dr. Barry's date. I found it because of Sabine Vlamming. She was saying something in her last video about mirroring from the first of the year, which we know in the Enoch calendar now. You know, I'm looking at the Enoch calendar. And I still feel like a lot of these calendars, or most of these calendars, are all going to work out, and celestial signs are all going to work out to come to the correct date. And Sabine said to mirror, and I was thinking about that quite a bit. Mirror the dates, and March 17th is the head of the year. You know, that's what God told Moses to consider as the head of the year. But prior to Moses, the head of the year was September the 15th. It was Tishri 1. That was the head of the year. So I just mirrored it. I wrote all the dates out on the calendar according to Enoch. I put them on the Gregorian calendar, and I put Enoch's date onto the calendar. And without further ado, let me show you what I came up with. That sun is bright this morning. Here it is. This is the mirror. I'm about to pull over so I can do this properly. I need a couple minutes. But look at that. Tishri 1 is September the 15th. So when I mirror Jesus onto this side of it, as Tishri 1, like it was for Enoch, like it was for Noah, Tishri 1 was the head of the year. So when I go to the first month and the 14th day, we arrive at Tishri 14, which is September the 28th, which is yesterday. That would have been the day that Jesus died on the cross. To go forward 3 more days, Jesus spent 3 days in the belly of the earth for the transgression of sin, and to lead captive. You go forward 3 days, and you have it right here. Tishri 17 is October the 1st. Tishri 17 is the mirror to when Jesus rises. Then on October the 8th, which is Dr. Barry's date, the mirror of that would be when Jesus met with Thomas in the upper room, where at this point he was allowed to touch him. Nobody was allowed to touch him. He told Mary Magdalene, "Do not touch me, for I have not risen to the Father." He rises to the Father, and he spends 7 days in heaven, and on the 8th day he returns to earth to meet with Thomas in the upper room. The first day of the year is March 17th. 14 days later, Jesus goes to the cross on March the 30th, which is Nisan 14th. It says in the first month and the 14th day. 3 days later, on April the 2nd, Nisan 17, which is 117, Jesus rises. And then he meets Thomas in the upper room on April the 9th, which is Nisan 24. Come over here again. Tishri is the 7th month. The 7th month and the 17th day is October the 1st. There's that 717 again. That was the clincher for me, is that 717 keeps popping up. Everybody keeps seeing 717. So that comes up. What did I say? October the 2nd, I think I said. Hold on a second here. No, October the 1st. October the 1st, that comes up. So, I don't know what happened to all my stuff. Let's see here. What did I do with it? All right. Again, March 17th is always, according to Enoch, the head of the year. 14 days later, on the first month and the 14th day, Jesus went to the cross. And it says that in Exodus 12:18 and again in Numbers 9:5. He was buried. That is the first day and the first night. The second day and the second night would have been the 31st. And the third day and the third night would have been the 1st of April. Jesus rises on 1/17, which would be the mirror of 7/17 on Good Friday, according to the Gregorian calendar. Jesus was not found in the tomb. Jesus rises. John 20:17. Do not touch. 10 verses later, Jesus returns to the upper room. Thomas is told to touch him. You find that in John 20:27. All right. So come here to September now. 7/1, Moses changed the head of the year. This is the 182nd day of the year. Come down here. Let's mirror that to previous. On the first month and the 14th day, I have it written there in red. Above it is the 7th month and the 14th day. That's the mirror to the cross. The mirror to the grave. Again, mirror to the grave, the second day. Here comes the third day. Jesus rises on 7/17. I never saw this before until Sabine said she was talking about mirroring it, so I just did this morning, and I was surprised how it worked out to 7/17. Now, on the 8th day, this is the mirror to Jesus appearing to Thomas in the upper room on the first month and the 24th day, and on the 7th month and the 24th day. So, that is a Friday. Thursday, there's been a lot of dreams about Thursday rapture. Does it happen at nightfall on Thursday? I don't know. Does it happen on the 8th? I don't know. Does it happen on 7/17? Where the mirror of Jesus rising, we rise. I thought that was pretty incredible, what was found. And I want to remind you that I'm not stuck on Enoch, but it keeps amazing me as I get a piece of information and I apply that piece of information to the Enoch calendar, that it comes up with the same dates that others are looking at. I want to remind you about something. While you're watching YouTubers trying to figure out this date, I want to remind you that there are, and it says it right here, 1 Corinthians 12:4, there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. Now, the same Spirit means we are all searching and seeking and dreaming and hoping for that blessed day. We want this more than anything. We are a very peculiar group of people. There's not very many people looking for this date. They will be. Once the rapture happens and they see it, they're going to realize, oops, those crazy people, that peculiar group of people, were correct. And they will become the greatest watchers the world has ever seen. The unique thing that will be for them is they'll know the exact date. They will know because they'll know exactly when we left. And they simply have to count 7 years. And I think Dr. Berry has actually said 7 years and 6 months, but did we just use up those 6 months by mirroring from the first of the year back in March when Jesus actually went to the cross, and mirroring it to Tishri 7/17? I don't know. It's a possibility. So I want to remind you that while we're looking, we don't know, but we are trying to figure it out. And that's what a watcher does. We try to figure it out. We either watch tons of videos, or we resonate with a particular type of watcher. Everybody, I think, loves Dr. Barry. I don't know anybody that doesn't, but we all have different gifts, and we all come at this in different ways. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that God hides the matter and we seek it out. I think that's what God was pointing to when he said that. Now, another thought I had, and I'm going to ask Sabine actually, is Moses got into trouble because he struck the rock twice. The rock was struck twice. He was not allowed to go into the promised land because he struck the rock twice. The Bible records that. Is this the rock being struck twice? That those who didn't pay attention, were not watching, will have to go through tribulation, but will be saved, which is good news. It's very good news. But is this rock struck twice? Did it get struck back on March 17th? Nissan 1? No, was it Nissan? Hold on, let me go look. I'm going to mess that up. I don't want to mess it up. Need my glasses again. All right. Sorry, March 13th. Nissan 14 is when Jesus went to the cross. He was struck. He is the rock. And here we are again as a mirror to the cross. Tishri 14. Exactly 6 months later, September the 28th, he is struck a second time. Was that a clue to us to be paying attention? Did Sabine find the mirror to this, and then I simply applied it to my calendar and realized that so many people were looking at 717. We're trying to understand what 717 is. So many people are seeing it. Like, everybody's seeing 717 everywhere they go. It's like God is telling them, it's on 717. But when you look at the Enoch calendar, 717 is our day. So, I don't know. We're looking. So we have 2 high watch days here. We have I'm looking at Tishri 14 as mirrored to the cross. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Tishri 717, which is October the 1st. It is the mirror to when Jesus rises. He says, "Do not touch me, for I have not risen to the Father." He spends 7 days in heaven, and on the 8th day he returns to Thomas in the upper room. He is first fruits. We are supposed to be first fruits. We're supposed to escape all these things. But somewhere in between October 1st and October the 8th, which is Dr. Barry's date, October the 8th, where the mirror shows Thomas being able to touch Jesus after 7 days have passed. Now, we relate that concept to Jacob, Rachel, and Leah. Jacob worked 7 years. It felt like nothing. Time just passed like nothing. Could those 7 years have already passed from the blood moons to line us up to now, to this time? Felt like 7 years. And then he wakes up in the morning and he's with Leah. He is not with the one that he loves. He's with Leah. But the father says, just give Leah her 7 days and then you can have Rachel. So after 7 days, he got Rachel as his wife, and then he commenced to work another 7 years for her, because that was his promise, and he did his promise. And then he worked another 6 full years for the cattle, which I believe are representative of the millennial saints. So we have the bride, which is Leah. We were not God's intended target. But because of their hard-heartedness and them not paying attention and not watching and mistaking Jesus and striking him, they were passed by. That is Rachel. That is the tribulation saint. And then finally, the cattle, which are those who can die, who will be in the millennium, who must eat of the fruit in order to live, who will be ruled over by all of us. The bride and the tribulation saint are the only groups that are going to heaven, and the 144,000. But I believe they're coming right back to minister to these the tribulation saints, to bring them in to the fold and to save them. I believe that's what their purpose is. And so after that, everybody left over after that can be tempted at the end of the millennium when Satan is loosed. We can't be. Who is he going to tempt? He's going to tempt the millennial saint. They are not saved. They have not accepted Jesus. This is their moment. This is their dispensation that they will have to go through. And some of them will be cast in the lake of fire because they will follow Satan. I don't understand that. But after everything, I guess after 1,000 years, I don't know. I don't know how that works out, but we'll be there. I don't know how they could do that, but I guess we'll see. We're going to see here very shortly. We know we're in the right year, and we know that we're so close. And I just wanted to give you 2 dates, October the 1st and October the 8th, are lining up very nicely. 7/17 for October the 1st, and 7/24 for October the 8th, for Thomas being able to touch Jesus in the upper room. So I guess we're going to see what happens as we go forward. I know we're close. Everybody can sense it. I talk to him in Discord. I got him in his Discord and talk in there, and everybody senses it, and everybody knows that we're here. We're at it, and it's just gonna flash, and it's gonna happen just in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. We'll be gone, and at that moment, we're gonna be like, oh, finally, we're here. And that's what we are. We are looking for that. Look around you. There are nearly 8 billion people who are not watching. We are a unique group of people. We should never be upset at anyone who's trying to figure this out and watch and pay attention. I don't know if you guys saw Jeffrey McGaha's last video, but he was standing outside for I think it was 2 hours, waiting for the Lord. My heart breaks for him. That's what happened to me on May 21st of 2011. I just knew that was it. That was it. That was when it was going to happen. And I was heartbroken for a minute when that didn't happen on that date. And that was 10 years and 6 months ago. So, but Jeffrey McGaha goes inside. He's heartbroken. He is heartbroken. He is looking for that blessed hope. These are the defining moments of the bride. These are the moments that say you are a watcher, because you would just brush it off, right? I didn't think it was going to happen anyway. Yeah, I was just talking. Nobody was really. No, you can tell the bride, because it is heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. It brings you to tears. I can only imagine, and that's why I can resonate so well with Jeffrey McGaha and what he went through. But go watch his last video. As soon as he walks inside, at the moment where he said, just a few moments after where he said it was going to happen, something happens in his camera. He's out there for 2 hours, clear as a bell. Nothing's going on. There's only one vehicle that passes while he's out there, and it's a taxi. And on the taxi, it has the date, his date on there. And it's almost like God's telling him, hang in there, Jeffrey. Job was used of God. God brought him to his knees for absolutely no reason except to prove Job and to bring him down. And he was brought down, just like I was on May 21st of 2011, just like Jeffrey McGaha was on his date and his time. He was brought down, and I told him it's glorious to be used of God that way. And it is the separation. It proves the separation between the bride, who is watching, and everyone else on the planet. No one else is watching. So you remember that when you get upset over a date. It's not us. God is using us to put stuff out there, and then when it passes, he's wanting to see if you're a mocker or a scoffer. So, you mockers and scoffers don't bother me. I know what you are. You are watching, but you're watching in disbelief. You're watching in anticipation to hopefully discredit somebody. And you are defining yourself as a tribulation saint. At least you're watching. But I got to tell you what you're going to be. You're going to be the greatest watcher the world has ever seen, because you're going to realize that you messed up. You messed up so bad. You should have supported Jeffrey Magaha, and you should have understood what he went through. And you should know that God has used him on purpose, and God has brought him down on purpose, just to see who will support him and who will go up against him, who will mock and who will scoff. But it's okay. You're a tribulation saint. At least you're watching. At least you're kind of wondering, could these people be right? I'm a Christian, and I kind of want to know. But when the day passes, you scoff. Be careful. Don't be counted amongst the scoffers. You'll be here as a tribulation saint, and that's a rough place to be. But it is a huge group. It's an absolutely enormous, like that guy says. What is, I can't forget it. Hourly watch, is it? Gigantinormous. It is a gigantinormous group of people. So have faith, be strong, know that the day is here. It is coming. I couldn't be more excited as I watch all of these things come to pass. La Palma's going like insane right now. The Ring of Fire is lighting up. So we know very well things are going on. So anyway, Repo Man 64, you keep watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. You want to be counted amongst the bride? Invest some time and help figure this out. Don't scoff. You want to be counted amongst the saved? Accept Jesus Christ today. Go to a quiet place by yourself. Nobody needs to know. You don't need to tell anybody. And accept him into your heart. Repo Man 64, hang in there. We're almost home.